There are some things that horses talk about a lot, and I've covered this in some other posts, but they're they bear repeating again. Horses talk about some things a lot. One of them is acceptance, one is surrender, and one is vulnerability. And these things are essential to the survival of horses. If they weren't able to accept things, they would not cope. They would not be able to cope. If they weren't able to surrender, they would have been eradicated because humans are not so good at negotiating, especially down through the centuries. And the other thing is vulnerability. And this is a few things that horses have to say about vulnerability. One horse was telling me recently that when you decide to accept vulnerability, to be vulnerable, then you've accepted the outcome, which is an interesting way to look at it as when you've decided to be vulnerable, when someone is going to maybe have a conversation with you or have an expectation of you, they want a relationship with you, they want a confrontation with you, whatever. Once you allow vulnerability, then you've accepted the outcome, and therefore there's not a problem with the outcome. So, an interesting perspective. And this horse, Marley, says when you align with acceptance, you become the dance of surrender. This is not the same as losing. Surrender becomes a surrender becomes its own interpretation of individuality and power. It becomes a life of its own, and it is immune to outside influence. This is a safe place to be. Vulnerability is mutable, it is malleable, it is where change takes place. Vulnerability is beautiful because it is pure. It invites the healing power of innocence to remember, as in reconnect, parts of ourselves that were punished and discounted. That was Marley. Then there's one more here from Dido. She says, for horses, vulnerability tells you that you must adapt to what is. The best and safest way for a horse to use the power of vulnerability is to look for a place to trust. Where or in whom is this space of what is can you allow yourself to trust? In this situation, the horse must override its senses and use its mind. Brilliant observations from horses on vulnerability.